Hello, my name is Lee Bottelberghe. I hope all is well wherever you're at. I always got to have a cup of coffee. So I am the Osakis band director, and this is the start of my third year. So looking at aspects that have become a limitation here within the building itself, in the band world. And before I even got there, I wanted to make sure that we can see what has been done before this has come through. In the first year, we talked a lot about accountability, and it's about developing a culture and a mindset through the students in the program in order for it to grow. And that culture has been growing. I can say with a fact that the numbers in fifth grade band have been staying consistent. They used to be in the 15 to 20s. They are now in enrollment 35 to 38. Since my first year, my second year, now my third year. This year we have 35 kiddos in fifth grade band. And that retention itself has been staying pretty well. So overall, 5th through 12th, the program has been seeing an increase on that. And I actually expect going into next year that we will see a 20% increase in numbers overall on that. The other aspect that did not really cost anything going forward was the instructional time and the growth with the students. 5th and 6th grade band, to give you a little back thing, was one time a week on that, and it did create some problems with retention rate on that and stuff going on in that. So what we did and got was increase in instructional time from once a week in 5th and 6th grade to every day this year, which is something I'm very exciting for and very hopeful to see on that moving forward. So looking into the room itself, trying to be able to say, hey, you know, the limitations that we're seeing come down to the room itself and not with trying to use it as creative as we can. One thing you will notice right behind us is that this room itself is set up on a multi-tiered layer system. And what that does is it limits creative rehearsal strategies we can do, as well as it back through here. You'll notice that this becomes skinnier as it goes through. So if I was to take a marimba, and if I was set up here, because I have to have stands coming out here. So as a percussionist, you don't play just one instrument, you play various on them. So if I'm working on something and I have to go from marimba over to timpani, it becomes really hard and obsolete on this, because a lot of times you're going to have auxiliary percussion set up like that. So this multi-tiered system, as you can see, I walk down to a step, and so on, provides limitations to the room itself on that. And so with the design of this current band room, we have, above me, we have roof ceilings that are metal. We have brick walls, and we have cement floor on that. Putting these three almost bad trifectas on that, sorry, creates a room that does not allow for the most efficient feedback acoustically to the students area itself. So like when I'm in a rehearsal and I'm right here and my flutes are literally right here, when we're doing a rehearsal, I cannot hear them. And that's due to the inefficiency in the design. If we look up here, this is a metal roof. So when the acoustics are hitting in this room and the reverbs and everything that's happening, it's not hitting back to the student's ear in the proper way, which that limits everything to how we can run a rehearsal. This also, to this tiered system, provides a limitation to the percussion and to the repertoire itself. In fact, due to the point that we do not have enough room back and forth in depth for them to set up to on that. It comes down to the room itself is not designed for the optimal efficiency on that. So what that does then is that not only limits the student's learning experience, that it limits me to myself being able to provide an effective feedback to the students. Is the aspect of storage instruments. As I stated before, as the program is growing and starts to get back to healthy numbers again on that, the storage is not efficiently laid out. It is really obsolete at this time. The percussion storage itself back here, there's honestly no spot right now to put the new concert toms that we just got. On my first year we did, and we went through and I reorganized everything to make the room itself as efficiently as we could for the storage. With that said, it's becoming obsolete and falling apart. Looking into this aspects here, we have slides and everything and shelving that's falling apart. And it's getting to the point to find a way that becomes more efficient to the storage. Notice we cannot even store percussive equipment that should be stored and packed away every rehearsal. We just honestly do not have the space for that. So you can see on here, when it does come to even itself, like in a rehearsal that we're having, the students either keep their instruments out here or put them back in here on that. It does become a little bit of a safety thing on that, as well as sometimes honestly just a confusion to get those kiddos learning where that storage system goes. You will notice on the whole top on that is the increased need for storage as well. The location itself in the room to the auditorium does become a challenge for the kids. You will hear them go, oh, we've got to move everything to the stage for our performances. And I would love to almost walk through with you the path that we have to take for percussion, because when we take the marimba through, or the 32-inch timpani, which honestly is still on stage because we have to take out every single bar throughout the school to get there on that. One, all stands need to come over to the auditorium. All chairs that we need to come over to the auditorium, as well as the percussion, have to take all the percussion equipment down three flights of tiers here. And then what happened is, due to the marimba as well as the 32-inch timpani, we cannot fit through those doors anymore, so we actually have to walk this way. So we have to align it with custodian, whether it's Greg or Rich, depending on the day. We have to take this one out, and this one's not by key. They actually have to take out the drill and get this one out. So this pops out, and then we can take it. Honestly, this is inconvenient for the students itself too on that, but the percussion equipment itself does become loud in the hallways, not because they're being played, just because of the system that they're being used on that with the wheel and on that, and that just becomes naturally loud in the hallway. So that is not only inconvenient for the percussion students to bring that and take that through the whole hallway itself, which usually takes us a day to set up for this. So we're losing that 50 minutes of instructional time itself. As we unload here, this becomes honestly a tricky area to do because we're playing a little Tetris Jenga through here with the instrument. Then our next step is to take ourselves right through the back on the auditorium, because we cannot load through the front due to the steps and that approach into that. So then we need to come. And then one last time, we need for custodians to take out the middle bar itself again. Then we come into the back of stage. The student impact that the proposed referendum would have is flexibility. It will allow us to have a rehearsal room that is set up acoustically properly, so that the increased instructional efficiency given back from me is more efficient to the students. To have storage room where it doesn't provide honestly a safety issue for having stuff laid out on that in the storage place. It will provide percussion correct storage areas. It will actually have the ability to have instrument practice rooms that allow for increased student engagement with the students when they're in their study halls and they come. I have students coming to me now and saying, can I use that practice room right now? And I've worked for the last 2 years to get 2 of those rooms worked on that, and they're being used on that. These 3 rooms were to be used as instrumental practice rooms, and I do have 2 of them set out itself. With that said, if I was a trumpet player playing in here, there would be a time where it becomes really loud and ringing in the ears due to the inefficient design for acoustic considerations in their room. So when my students are doing their performance evaluation project videos, I do, and I know this year I will have both these rooms being used on that, where a 3rd room would be even more beneficial, as well as it does become a safety thing as a distraction to other classes, because since these rooms are not efficiently designed acoustically, the sound bleeds out to other classrooms. And I do remember them always saying when the band's playing, they can hear it over where Mrs. Kanata is right now on that, and we'll walk past. It will allow the students to become, and the program itself to become, a better ambassador for the district. And when we're able to do that, due to the flexibility and increased efficiency in instructional given, we allow ourselves to become the better ambassador for the program on that, as well as the district. So looking into how the proposed referendum can provide a positive community impact will be, I want to start a community band, and I'm looking for you to be in that, to provide a better connection from school district itself to community itself. And so we open ourselves up to a more efficient rehearsal area that allows for that. We look